Picked the wrong week to quit sniffing glue.
Well, I am home again, jiggity jig. Just got back in from a long day's drive. Pleasant, but long. Say what you will about the nice people of South Carolina, they got a boring highway. I-95, there's just nothing to look at between here and there. But I'm back, and I've got everything kind of put away, got all the toys resituated, so I'm going through the pictures and the videos and deciding what to put in there. And but I tell you, it was a fun weekend. I went down to the Star Trek Continues set, which is down in Kingsland, Georgia, which is this far from Jacksonville, Florida. It's your last chance to turn around before you find yourself in Florida. So it was quite a fun weekend. I was invited down by Will Smith, who is the set decorator and one of the main builders slash architects of the production. And a bunch of us got invited down to take a look at the sets and to kind of, say thanks for your support and all that kind of good stuff. So it was a very good weekend. Got to tour the sets, which was the important thing, and that's what you're waiting to see. And let's get to it. I don't want to keep you in suspenders much longer. It occurred for me, I just got back from watching the footage, and it occurred to me I needed to explain myself. I needed to explain how things worked. Basically what we did is we went to this facility in Kingsland, Georgia, and put up, those of us who brought props, we could set stuff up. But then Vic Mignola came out. Vic, who plays Kirk in the episodes, but is also an executive producer, set designer, man of many talents and many trades, and just one of the nicer guys you're ever going to meet. He showed us around. He was our host, more or less, for the weekend. And the other gentleman you'll see a lot of is a guy named Will Smith, who I work with when I send vinyl for them to use on the sets. And what Vic did is he kind of took us around. He broke us up into groups. He kind of came out and welcomed us, talked about what their plans were. And then he broke us up into groups and took us around the sets to see what was going on. And then after we came back, he'd take another group back out. So you'll hear references to having to move along on the trip because he's got more to get in that morning, more groups to take through. So he took us through the sets and let us play with all the buttons, and he started talking about stuff that got him off track and had to be hurried along. And then we went back to the first group went back to the prop room, and he took another group out. And then we kind of hung out the rest of the afternoon. After all of that, we watched an episode or two. That was fun. And then we had an auction, silent auction, with people who brought products or props or old knickknacks to be auctioned. They could bring those, and people could bid on them. And all money raised goes back into the production of more episodes. So that was kind of the gist of it. I've got a bunch of video, but I'm going to, after I do some video, I'm going to pop in some still pictures because, when you're jerking around with the camera, you don't always get as high quality detail stuff as you would like to. So that is, and you'll see some kind of disjointed, because I wasn't going to stand around all day with a camera up in front of my face like a tourist. So, I'm kind of catching things as I wanted to, and therefore you get what you get, and you don't fuss a bit, as they used to say. And so I don't think I'm going to get all the pictures in because I took hundreds of them. So I'll take some of the highlight pictures and pop them in between some of the videos, and then I'll have a wrap up at the end. Well, greetings. As you can tell from the surroundings behind me, this is not the normal digs. It's Friday afternoon. It's about 4:30, and I am here, and where here is the tail end of Georgia. If you go any further down 95, you are in Florida. So what I'm doing this weekend is going on a field trip, and I'm taking you with me, whether you like it or not. Drove all day, left Raleigh about 9:30, 10 o'clock. So good long uneventful drive, which are the best. So I'm going to unpack and unravel and pick this up again tomorrow. Okay, this is the definition of unassuming. All of this is happening inside of this warehouse slash converted church industrial building. You would not look at it from the outside and guess what marvels are happening inside. Won't somebody think of the children? Yes, this is what happens when you go sneak into a room you're not supposed to be in. Oh, and there it goes.
John 7.
Hello.
Happy pay, John. Good PayPal. All right.
There we go.
Good job.
Yeah. See, they had, yes, I've actually got extra pins that go on actually use with.
Right?
I'm 6 today. I got start right. Perfect music.
You might recognize the shape of one of those. So that's how my photograph. Say how long. If you want to pop around the end, you can, and look in. Usually we'll throw a green screen up over the windows, right? So we can put space or planet or whatever.
I thought it was very cool that you did that
We're low budget.
on location shoot in the shuttlecraft. I didn't know whether you built your own entire.
Oh, no, that was all actual locations. Okay. Not much here though, so let's keep going.
I'm sorry.
We're gonna let you guys see our newest edition first. Well, we gotta get them all started.
And a good demonstration of how the doors work,
Yeah.
okay?
Get everybody in here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, if you all know the original layout of the sound stage, at the other end of the corridor, at the little intersection, is the entrance to engineering. But the way this building was laid out, this is the big partition wall I told you about. The church was over there, we were over here.
Yeah.
So there's no room down there to put engineering at the end where it would normally go. So for, what episode was it? White Iris. For White Iris, Will actually built a little alcove of engineering
The little
down there
entry,
where
yeah.
it belongs, where Scotty sits. But then we had to green screen the engineering room behind him because it wasn't even built yet. Well, now it's built. And we cleared out this side over here,
Which was Sunday school classrooms when we started.
like literally demolished all of the partitions and the walls and everything, cleared it out, and then Will began the process of what you're about to see, and it's beyond amazing.
Ready?
So now,
And this
when
is-
we
okay.
tell them what we do about doing.
Well, you do it.
What? Okay, well, whenever you're about to walk, you saw it in the little video here. Whenever you're about to walk through a door, you tell the guy that's operating the doors, you just say doors, and he knows that's the cue to open it. So why don't you do the honors, my friend?
Doors.
Open.
So,
Enjoy.
Here we are, engineering.
Will, take over.
Sorry.
This is it.
That is amazing. Oh, goodness.
Oh my God.
Here's a goosebump.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's
So all
beyond
this stuff
amazing.
works. I mean, you can turn.
Oh, you just said don't touch any buttons,
Well,
and now you're playing with everything.
I mean,
It's okay if he breaks.
Oh, sure.
he's good. That you can touch.
Who touched buttons?
I can't help it. I'm a born button pusher.
We actually hired a guy in town to make the ladder and railing. It's all functional and sturdy as all get out, so.
Actually, he made two of them because I'll tell you the story quickly is that I drew all the plans for this set, and so we have very specific, you know, it's got to be freaking perfect at Star Trek. So he made this and brought it, and he actually brought it. Vic was here. I was not here when he brought it. So the next day I came here, and I was like, oh my God, the ladder is not right. It was almost down on the floor here, and it was, no, 99% of the people wouldn't, 99.9% of the people would have not known it. And so the guy who did that also, he took all of our hex mesh and painted it. And so he had our hex mesh, and I'm like, I don't want to tell the guy that the ladder's not right until I get my hex mesh back. And so the day he brought the hex mesh back, I said, man, this looks awesome, but listen, I got to have a hard conversation with you. I said, this ladder's not right. And he goes, what do you mean? And I took the drawing out and I said, this spacing on the stairs aren't right. And I went through all the reasons why it wasn't right. And I said, listen, 3 million people are going to see this, and your name's going to be on it. And when they say it's not going to be right, they're going to know you did it. He goes, man, I'll build a new one. So he built a new one. Nice. And this is the new one, which is still not right. Okay, he brought the new one, and it's still not right. And then he never called me back again. But one of the things we're going to auction is the first ladder over here. That's actually going to be the bar.
Really close to perfect, right here.
So we have two. We have a backup if we need them.
Now, let me tell you something I'm very proud of. When we were building this, and it came time to build the ceiling, well, most people wouldn't even try to build the ceiling, right? Like, what's the point? It's 25 feet off the ground, and if you think about it, if you try to frame that and then skin it, how heavy is that going to be? Right. And how the hell are you going to get it up there and suspend it somehow with your actors and camera, everything underneath it, right? It's a little scary. Will and I started to try to make one of the arches.
We built a beam, one of the beams.
One of the arches, and we got about 40 minutes into it, and we're like, this looks like shit. It wasn't smooth, it was heavy as all get out, it would take forever. And so we're like, this is not working. Well, at that time, Royal Weaver, who lives down here in town, he's one of our caretakers here, said to me, you know, there's a guy in Jacksonville who does CNC cutting of foam.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh my God. He drew up the plans, sent them to the guy. You guys, you could single-handedly hold.
It's four
They
sections.
weigh nothing.
I can
and they're
lift a whole
perfectly
section by
designed.
myself.
I mean, the shape.
Actually, it's 1,000 pieces, but when it's put together, it's 4 sections, and you can just lift it yourself. And it's held up, you can see, by ropes. We've got it held up by ropes. It weighs absolutely nothing. And did anybody contribute to get their name on this set? Anybody here? Okay, never mind.
And then after he did the ceiling,
I was going to show you.
after he did the ceiling, our minds started thinking. Our minds started spinning. We're like, well, hell, if he can do that, he can cut these plant-ons that look exactly like the original plant-ons, because you're never going to find that.
All of these, I did frickin' hours of research, which means I watch a lot of Star Trek, and drew the plans for all of these plant-ons, and he cut all of these, and I thought it was quite ironic that I was getting the foam guy to cut foam that was actually, back in the 60s, foam packing material, and we were recreating foam packing material. I thought it was a little ironic.
Will,
And
wasn't
then, of
that the electric typewriter packing?
Yes, it was.
And then, of course, one of the other largest pieces of this set, which would have been incredibly difficult to do with wood or any heavier material, the beams, the pipes in the core. All those big giant pipes, they're foam.
So the core is really only 12 foot long, in reality.
Is that the same as it was in the original?
It is.
It looked so neat.
Hey, is Lou here?
Yeah.
Lou did the numbers.
Oh, that was you, thank
He
you.
did them 4 times, because we screwed one up, and I mean, but Lou was very gracious and supplying
I was going to say, you have marvelous lettering all over
Yeah.
this.
Oh yeah, he did all of it. Lou's done all of it. He printed all of these graphics out. Lou did it all. So you have Lou to thank for doing all of this.
My pleasure indeed.
And
Incredible
these
job.
domed lids are foam as well, because, you know, they're kind of like garbage can lids, but they're smooth. And you wouldn't find exactly what you need and exactly in the right diameter. So our foam guy cut those as well. Are you able to open that, or do you want to?
Well, it's broken because we filmed with it. But this actually, at one point in time.
Don't you need gloves to do that?
I mean, and it
You kill us all, man!
It came dismounted, but we have the dilithium chamber that comes up and down, and so anyway, it works, kind of.
You know,
It used to come up and lock, but it doesn't.
There are some fun stories from the Children Shall Lead of Shatner pissing off the set crew, kicking these gold balls around. And when we were deciding what are we going to use for those, we're like, well, they're kind of like, I don't know, we figured they were about 7 or 8 inches in diameter. Sure enough, we go to this, we go to Walmart, and here are these plastic kids' balls, just the right diameter. And
So you can actually.
are they still sticky?
No, these are the stunt balls. We have a real set. They're the right color. These are a little too gold, but we have a real set. And so you can see it's
Yeah,
Minions.
it was Minions balls for kids.
That's like off of the horse.
In Star Trek, there's all these, you can see these little stickers that are stuck all over the place. And these are actually where they're at, but you can't actually read what they say. So what we did is we asked people if they wanted to contribute, we would put their name up there, which we did all that. But also there was many more than we had room for. So we have people who helped us work on the set, their names and initials are on here. This is actually, if you want to call me, that's my phone number. And so we have all kinds of stuff. And this is particularly, I'm proud of this. There's a little saying here that you can never read. And so I just put, this is my affectionate name for Vic. I call him OGEP, and that stands for O-Grade Executive Producer. So it's kind of like our great bird of the galaxy, but it's O-Grade Executive Producer.
Anytime we write emails, I always. And so we had somebody make us a 3D version of it in a program, send it to the foam guy, he cut it out, boom, exactly right.
Didn't this turn out nice?
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking,
Nobody knows what that is.
I was trying to figure out, okay, is he using it to paint and then pull them back off? Or?
If we have a story that calls for it, we will. But I don't know if any of you came back here to get a real vantage point of the whole thing. Like, it's really. There are 3 sheets there, so it was really quite a chore. You know, I had 3 or 4 or 5 guys trying to get it up there and get it in place and get it secured.
We have a lot of people.
Yeah, let's see. Next room you come to is down the
Lampshade.
short corridor.
Come on in.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I'm gonna walk around like this all day.
We're used to it, kind of. We do the same thing still.
Right? Yeah, he's seen more of this than he ever
I'm touching the buttons, I don't care what they say.
Behind-the-scenes photographer. Don here takes all the amazing stills that we. Now let me tell you about what you're looking at here. Obviously the moire material on the back is pretty much exact. We found a place that made that. Now the film strip thing, I actually looked at screen caps and then I laid that out in Photoshop and then I hired a company to print it onto plastic strips. So it is about as exact as it's going to get.
Could somebody stand there?
Yes,
and take a picture?
absolutely. Hey, why don't you stand there and
No,
take your
I'm not
picture?
going on film.
Well, you pick
so-
somebody.
But somebody more.
How about Kurt?
Oh, if you need it, I'm happy to do this for
I
you.
want.
For
Guys,
you,
say something real quick.
Larry, you're such a giver.
Hold on 1 second, hold.
Who would want to do this?
You see the metal ring around the outside?
Yeah.
Don't step on the ring. Step directly into the middle of
It's
the
really MDF.
All right, gentlemen.
Go ahead and step in.
You can step on
in the
there.
middle.
Hey,
Step right
if Lou
in the middle.
Ferrigno can stand on there, it'll hold
Oh, no,
anybody.
yeah. If Lou Ferrigno can stand there, you can stand there.
Oh, that's amazing.
Now, let me tell you, now what you're standing on in the original series, those were Fresnel lenses. They were light lenses.
For
They're
the
so
studio
expensive.
lights.
That's why I was wondering, they look
Well,
right.
They're cast.
Yeah, because I took one of the original Fresnel lenses and had it resin cast,
Wow.
and then we poured them out of silicone. And then we cut holes in the floor, and then we laid underneath it like real thick plexi to support you and yet allow light to shine up from underneath. So when we actually beam,
Almost like
there's light underneath.
We'll bring some lighting in here later and we can take some pictures. Bring a soft box or something in here.
Very cool.
Oh, so sorry. I thought.
Thank you.
The other problem is that the humidity often makes these things want to come loose.
Well-
It's like 1,000% humidity in here in the summer.
You know, it doesn't look like.
Let me know when you want this remade. I can do that in vinyl.
I mean, I know this
We want
is-
them
it doesn't
remade.
look-
Okay.
Because most
Yeah.
of them are ruined because they use some solvent on
And
them.
you know what
it
else? A
melts
lot of
them.
people don't even
yeah.
realize that those
I can cut that
those
vinyl in the
cams
amount
on
of
the
quantity
ceiling
you
were
need.
corrugated.
Hey, you hear this?
So I found a place online that sells plastic corrugated material, and I bought some and cut it and painted it. Yes.
I can,
No, finish up.
I can recut that in vinyl like that.
You mean what,
The
the
film
strips?
strip.
Yes.
God bless you, because I can't find the place anymore that we had to do it, and we need more of it.
Yeah,
I had somebody make this image in Photoshop, and then we had it printed on fabric, which is about as close as we could get to that original painting. And you know what we figured out, and you're going to see these all over the ship. You see paintings and pictures hanging on the wall, like in Kirk's quarters or wherever, and you think, oh, they just put paintings on the wall and things on the wall. No, no, no. Those were camera ports.
Yeah, so if you stick the camera in behind them,
If they want to shoot this way,
they pop out.
they
of
cut
the
a
wall.
hole in the wall. So, and then they just cover the hole with stuff when they're not shooting. So,
Let's move it!
sorry.
It's true.
Should we just bring everyone?
He has to do this 5 more
Next
times.
time, next time, I
Let's
think
do a bigger
everyone.
group.
Yeah, we'll do
Next
quicker.
time.
Okay, the next room you come to,
We'll do photo ops later.
step in here if you want real quick, is the briefing room.
Yeah.
Real quick. Always wondered this.
Wow.
Yeah, and you would come to, now this is an example of one of those plantons that we had custom made. It looks just like one that was on the show. The next two rooms you come to are the two entrances into Kirk's quarters. If you want to kind of step in and go around.
And keep in mind, we just kind of threw this stuff in here. It's not really in filming condition as far as the set dressing or any of that.
And of course, you see these camera ports everywhere, right? There, here, back there. They were just holes in the wall that they could shoot through, and then they just cover them when they're done.
I like the genie bottle.
Yes.
I recognize
But
this.
I think Barbara even gave that to Vic.
Yes, actually she did. That's cool.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, that's.
I was doing a convention with her, and she had a guy with her that was selling genie bottles, and she was signing them. And at the end of the event, she said, "Would you like to have one of my bottles, Vic?" And I said, "I would love that, Barbara." So she gave me one. Okay, let's keep.
Yeah. Hold on, let us fix it.
Can you get it?
And
I
I-
can't. I'm not big enough. I'm not tall enough.
There you go.
Tape. Here, and all this stuff really works. This is all like 9-volt. And so this panel is just static for now.
Did you build these ones?
I did, and they're junk, but they still are kind of cool.
They're perfect. Shut up.
Yeah.
You do this, and here, I'll turn it on because, and like, these switches, well, they did work, but the battery's kind of dead on that, so here, I'll take it.
There used to be a piece of the hex mesh right over there, but we cannibalized it to make the little alcove that you'll see down here at the end for engineering. Because that hex mesh is extremely expensive, like $500 a sheet. Like, yeah.
They're pretty cool.
So cool.
So let's keep going. I mean, people are watching the story.
Yeah.
It's just in the background. But if you look closely at it, electrical thing, baby
Paint tray.
paint tray. This was a wheel off one of our chairs, plumbing. I mean, just anything we could find and stick it together. I mean, which I love that kind of thing, and I'm sure a lot of you guys do too. That kind of like using things not for the thing they were intended for, and putting them together to make something new. Now you get to the intersection here, and here's the Jeffries tube. Down further to the left through the A-frame is the shuttle bay entrance.
One cool thing too is actually Vic
We're gonna dance here.
built these, and these actually come right off the wall.
And
they work. They don't have batteries in them now, but they work. The red alert works. And when we're trying to do different corridors, we'll just move these and stick them on a wall someplace else. But these are really cool. And,
Yeah, amazing.
And Jeff is a genius.
Yeah, Jeff Johnson is an incredible builder as well. And he made us 6 or 7 of those.
Yeah.
Okay, and then, now just like in the original series, this was all interconnected, and then the bridge sat off in a corner by itself, so.
And then do you actually have a turbo lift?
Oh yes, we sure do, yeah. So then, here we go.
This is the alcove that we had engineering in, but here you go.
Here's what you really want to see. I want to see it all, but oh my goodness.
Feel free to walk around.
This is quiet reverence you hear.
I know, it's like, you want to stand back here and just take it in,
we
because it
walk around
can't be
there?
real,
Do
you
it
know
however
what I
you
mean? It
want.
just can't be real.
Don't say that. Don't- It's a peep show.
So the overhead graphics we did for the set improvement for this episode, we did all these. And these are recreations of graphics that they actually had in the show. So if you watch the show, all of the overhead graphics they switched them out. And so you can see them in different shows. So what we did is they're actually just mounted on plexiglass. So we filmed 2 episodes. So we changed them around for the episodes like they would do in the original series. So when you see the episodes, these will be, and we have different ones, but we just changed these out. But actually, if you watch the show, you'll be watching, you'll go, oh, that's that same one they had in Star Trek Continues. It's because we actually recreated them.
But you don't have the wrinkled paper look to 'em.
Well,
We used to. We used to, and then Will made it clear that he could make them look better, and he did it. So they.
Will, did the actual original Enterprise ever have all these panels in it at the same time?
probably not. I mean, they had to get in here and film. Usually it was this section and this section. They would always film the bridge from over here.
I meant the lighted panels.
They would only put them on when they filmed because they used regular incandescent lights and they were hot as hell. I hear stories of the actors touching these lights and these would actually burn their fingers.
Wow.
And so there's a story of Herb Solo just getting irate because somebody said they had stopped production because they were having to have air conditioning brought in. And he's like, those damn actors, I'm going to go give them a piece of my mind. So he walked on the set and he just ran across William Shatner. And Shatner's, he goes, is there a problem? What's your problem? He goes, I don't have a problem, but you have a problem. And long story short, the problem was when they turned everything on, it generated so much heat and blew the electrical panels out of the studio. So they brought lights in to cool off. When they would turn this on, they brought air conditioning in to cool off where these lights were. And in fact, if you see any of these surviving panels, this one, they auction them off from time to time. If you look at them, the plexiglass is melted on them, and it's all from the light, particularly on the panels that were on all the time, like the ones on the science station behind Spock, just completely melted, and it was from the heat. But the guy who played Captain Pike wrote a book, and he talks about not being able to touch. You see them doing this and doing this. These things were blazing hot from the
So one of
lights.
the good things about our technology today is that we can light this thing up that generates nothing, no heat,
And like on the
very
on the
little,
scanner,
very
if you
little
look on the
voltage.
show, there's a wire that you can see that they have coming up on the original one. Ours, we just freaking put some LEDs and put a 9-volt battery in. You know? All right, we'll
Yes.
you'll have plenty of time on the sets. I mean, that's why we're here. But we need to get another group going.
There now, wasn't that fun? I urge you, if you've got, I know times are not wonderful for everybody, and money's tough to come by, but if you've got it to spare, send it to, I'm going to earnest plea here. If you're looking to support something that people who are really putting their money where their mouth is, so many times in Kickstarter and other things, you hear of programs that are pie in the sky promises and then very shy on delivery. But if you want to put your money where you know it'll be safe and used and well loved and used for the betterment of mankind, send it to the nice people at Star Trek Continues, and I will put their website address right here. And I'm sure they'll have information on their Kickstarter. They're great folks. They're doing the Lord's work. I mean, come on, people. They're making new Star Trek episodes. What better use of money can there be? I mean, after, clothing the hungry and feeding the sick and all that kind of stuff. Making more Star Trek. That's the Lord's work. So, if you enjoyed anything of what you saw today, head on over to the Star Trek Continues site and help them finish up their goals. Now, I can't tell you what they are because I was asked not to, but Vic does have an end game in sight. I mean, they have a fixed cost that they know for their episodes. They know what additional sets they want to get built. They know what that's going to cost, and they know, that they're not going to spend any more than what that costs. Anything else goes into more productions. So the more they get, the more they make, the more we enjoy. It's a simple equation. So thanks again, and until next week when we'll be back on the hopper, we'll be actually being back to making models. Thank you for letting me divert your attention away from model making to while I'm here, let me just talk about the co-people that you saw besides me. These are serious prop builders, my friends. These are people who know how many dimples are in a golf ball. These are people who know how many rivets are in a phaser. These are people who know their quatloos. So I felt a little bit out of my league. I got to tell you, I'm a simple model maker, and I'm a big strokes kind of guy. If it looks good from 5 feet away, I'm happy. These are people who, are down to the T on their stuff. And I saw some beautiful phasers and some beautiful communicators. But I figured when I going to this showdown, it wasn't good. These are people who are not going to be impressed by your Playmates phaser. I'm sorry. So I didn't take just my run-of-the-mill props. You saw I took what I thought fairly unique stuff. The Spock and the Nomad I figured nobody else had. And the Lurpa I figured nobody else had. But I took some other stuff, and wouldn't you know, there were other people there who had not just the same thing I did, but maybe better versions of them. So it was definitely rarefied air as far as your prop collecting goes. These were your dyed-in-the-wool. It was on screen for one episode, but by God, I've got the prop people, and well done, well executed props. So my props to them for their props. But again, I digress. Until next week when we're back to building models. There's a little art film coming out next week, Star Wars something. I don't know if I'll get a chance to see it because I'll be working on an important model. So we might have an abbreviated report next week. So until then, when I get back to the workbench, I will see you then. Be good to each other. Have a safe and happy holiday season. Drive carefully out there. There are nuts on those highways. And we'll see you here next week.